Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Failure Way Forward podcast. I'm your host, Dalila Jordan, and this podcast is a podcast that I want to inspire you to accomplish your dreams, your goals, anything you believe you have set your mind to do. This is a place that I want you to be inspired to do those dreams, where I share stories from others who've had dreams just like you, but had insurmountable challenges, hurdles, things that got in the way of their dream, but they didn't stop. They used those failures as just motivators to help them and go forward as they pursued their dream. I hope you tune in. I want you to be inspired by the stories I share on the Failure Way Forward podcast. I hope you're excited and tune in. I want to share my story. My dream was to become a lawyer, and I had that dream ever since I was a little girl. I wanted to go to law school, but I found myself 37 years old, divorced with 2 kids, and hadn't yet achieved my dream. So I had to reassess and think about how could I achieve my goals and dreams and get to that place that I knew that I wanted to be at in my life. So I had to apply principles that I'm gonna share with you that I believe were essential to get me to the point where I accomplished my dreams. And it's what I call a VAR. It's my vision, action, reassessment, and then repeat. So my vision, as I share with you, was to attend law school. But again, I had many obstacles and hurdles that I had to overcome and get in place. So I had to, number 2 of my VAR, which is action together. I had to figure out how was I going to manage my life. I was divorced, I had 2 boys, I was working a full-time job, and also had to just juggle the financial responsibility of my household. So what I did was look for a program for non-traditional students like myself. So I found one. I found a program where I can go to school at night, take classes at night, continue to work, because those were the things I was going to have to do if I wanted to fulfill my dream to go to law school. What did I do? I got myself accepted into a program that, again, was for a non-traditional student like myself, and I got into law school. And everything was going great. I was juggling my classes, juggling my job, taking care of my children, and I found myself at the end of my first year not having the grade point average that I needed to matriculate to the second year. So I was academically disqualified. And devastated wasn't the word. It was just like I took a gut punch and was so disappointed that my dream to go to law school had turned out that way, that I was academically disqualified for my program. But remember, I still had my VAR, I still had my vision, I still had my action plan, and I still had to reassess and repeat. So what did I do? I just had to reassess my life. So I took some time away from school because I was no longer in my program. And I began to think, what was it that prevented me from succeeding? Well, I had a job that was very demanding. I had my children, had all those things. So I had to think about what I could change. Well, I did some reassessment and I was able to find another job, a job where I could work less hours, more like on a part-time basis that still paid me the income that I needed. I reassessed my living situation. I downsized my apartment to a studio. I really had to just minimize my debt so I could still work with the amount of hours and take care of myself, working part-time and living in a smaller place, and see if those were the necessary things I needed to do to get myself in a better position so I could be successful to go back to law school if that opportunity arose. Well, it did. I didn't let go of my VAR. I still had my vision and I had an action plan. I did the reassessment. So now it's time for me to repeat and get myself back into the position so I could accomplish my dream. So what I did was I went to my school and I petitioned to reapply to get admitted back into law school. And I was able to be readmitted conditionally though, and be able to start my first year all over again. And that is what I did. So here I am, conditionally admitted into school, taking my courses. I was able to be successful and get the grade point average that I needed to be admitted back into my program on a full-time basis. So I was on my way. My second chance at accomplishing my dream was in full force. So after I finished my first year, yay, I was successful. I was in my second year, just getting started to complete the second year of law school, but I had a major hurdle. I didn't have the financial funds I needed to continue. I was all tapped out. I was working part-time, less hours, being able to study, doing well academically, but financially, I didn't have the funds. So I had to withdraw. Another failure, another major hurdle where it seemed like I just wasn't getting ahead. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was not successful in completing my dream. So I had to really figure out, was I gonna stop, or was I going to figure out what I needed to do to get the funds so I could finish law school? And I remember going to a church service one time at a revival, and the preacher talked about just trusting God and trusting your journey and having faith and trusting in Him. And I'm a believer, and I knew that God had put me in that place, had given me an opportunity to go to law school. So I didn't understand why I was having all these problems. Why was I academically disqualified on my first year? Why didn't I have the funds to finish it on my second go round? But I just continued to pray and believe that my opportunity and my chance was going to come. Also, what was happening in my life during this time, I met my husband. We weren't yet married yet, but he wanted to get married, but he lived way in another state. So I was like, why would I meet someone that wants me to move away from the program that I'm in? I want to get back in. I want to get the funds. Why is this happening to me? But then I had to remember to trust God, to trust the plan, to trust His process. So I said yes to my husband, and we got married, and I moved all the way to Texas, and not leaving my dream, but left the plan that I thought I had in place to go to law school behind. But little did I know, with little research, remember I had my VAR, my vision, my action, my reassessment, my repeat. I start to look at places or schools that were in the new state that I was going to live at with my new husband, and I found a program. I found a program for non-traditional students like myself that had many resources for students like me that had to work, could only go to school part-time, that had families, but still had the desire and dream to go to law school. But the only caveat was this program was not able to accept any of my units that I had previously taken. So what did that mean for me? I was gonna have to start all over. Take my law school entrance exam again, do my first year over. This would have been a third attempt at starting my law school courses and getting back into the program as if I was a brand new student. That was a humbling moment. I had to really reassess if I really wanted to do this. Did I have the wherewithal? But I knew that my dream was something that I wanted to pursue. I just took a big step of faith and said, you know what? The worst thing could happen is that I don't pursue it, and then I will always wonder what will happen. I did decide to repeat my first year all over again. So I just took the step of faith, and I was admitted to the program. I finished my first year, my second year. I had the financial support from my husband that I had just newly married. And my move to Texas and into this new program just really changed my life. So I just wanted to share with you how, although you have plans and dreams, your plan and dream should go one way. Sometimes God redirects you and takes you a whole different way. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to achieve your dreams and goals. It's just a testament that God's journey and His plan on how you get there may not be your plan. So you're looking at a licensed attorney today. I've been practicing for a few years, but my hurdles and my failures to accomplish my dream was not an easy route. It took me almost 10 years to finish my law degree and become a licensed attorney. So I wanted to share with you my failures and my struggles and my hurdles that it took for me to accomplish my dream. And I hope that you're inspired by my story. And I'll be sharing stories like mine and others on the Failure Way Forward podcast. So I hope you tune in.